Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of RHINOjoe Outdoors. And on today's episode, I'm going to do an on-the-water review of this native Slayer Max Propel 12.5 and let you guys know what I think now that I've had it out on the water a couple times, and kind of show you a couple things around the kayak while I'm out here on the water trying to catch some fish. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so if you haven't seen my other video where I did the walkthrough of this kayak while I was actually in my garage, I'll put a link to that up in the YouTube card so you guys can check that one out. But what I really wanted to discuss today is really what I think of this kayak now that I've had it out on the water. So a couple things about it, and we'll get started. So the first thing obviously is this is a pedal driven kayak, and as you can see, it's got the 701 series drive, which is the newest drive, and you just drop it down through that little hatch there, re-secure the hatch, and you're good to go. You do want to make sure that when you put this in, this does have these little clips here that you push in to secure the drive, and it's actually got one that's right here that you can use to secure the drive in the down position. I personally don't use that way that if you hit something, the drive will kick up like that. One thing I have noticed that is if you try to go in reverse and you push up too much, it will cause your drive to do this. So I'll try to do an example. I've only done it a couple times, but basically, like if you're pushing up too much, it'll cause the drive to kick up just a little bit and make a lot of noise, which could not be the best if you're really trying to sneak up on some fish. But in the bow, you obviously have this hatch up here. One thing that I did discuss in my other video is how difficult these are. It's actually warmed up quite a bit today, so these actually already seem easier. It's like, I think like about 50 degrees outside right now. But this opens up this hatch. You've got your little tray up there where you can put stuff, and like I'm not any like crazy agile person, but it's got that string on it there, so you can flip it all the way forward, get in here. I can lean all the way up here, get in here, no problem. And I'm not very tippy at all. Like, I wouldn't stand up and do that because you want to keep your center of gravity low, but as long as you stay down, like, you can get in here. So I've got my battery here. I've actually got that new Amped Outdoors lithium battery in there to power my new sonar, and then you could put some stuff up here. I've got some tools and stuff, just some odds and ends up there. But then if you want to put that back down, you can actually use this string, pull on the string, and put it down. It does have weather stripping underneath there for that. One thing that I will say is, I don't know, if you're fishing a bunch of treble hook baits, you might actually consider taking this off. And the reason why I say is this bungee cord is really easy to get your lures hung in. It just depends on what you're doing. You might consider doing that. I consider doing it, but in one of my other videos, which I'll link to in the YouTube card, where I was fishing for crappie, I actually strapped down my minnow bucket up here, so that was pretty sweet. It does have these rod tip protectors, and I do have one rod that's sitting there right now, the spinning rod. But like I said in my other video, I need to wait till Native comes out with those rod butt stagers to put on that so that I can secure the rod in the back. But really, I don't have any problem just sitting it there. You've got the rudder handle over here on this left hand side, and I absolutely have really enjoyed this kayak. Down here you've got your storage for, you know, I've got my soft plastics in these, so this is like my crawls and chunks for fishing jigs and stuff. You got the track system on either side. On this side you have your plate here. I think I'm going to put some switches in there and probably install some lights on this kayak. But you've got the rail system. I've actually got this set up to where my ram ball, I can loosen this, I can slide it forward, I can slide it backwards, but this right here seems to be the best position for me. And some people said, well, you know, Ryan, why would you put it there? So the reason why I put it here is while I'm sitting, I don't have to stress to press this. It's actually like right at arm's reach. If I really have not had the need to use my paddle in this kayak once. My main goal for this kayak was to use it mainly on lakes, ponds and that kind of stuff, bigger rivers, and I really don't see myself needing my paddle. But in the couple times that I have used my paddle, I've actually only used half of it, and I use it just to get out of the area that I'm in if I had the drive pulled up. So this is perfect for me. I've actually been running around here using the auto chart feature on this Humminbird unit to make a map of this body of water, which is pretty sweet. So I've been doing a lot of pedaling, getting a lot of cardio in. But what I'm going to do now is we are going to start going around, and I'm going to show you how well this sucker turns, and then we'll do kind of like a speed test. So I'm going to get started here. One thing to remember is that in order to turn, you do need to be moving. So it's kind of like the rudder on a boat, you know, like if you're not moving, it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, now that I'm up at 3.5 miles an hour now. You can tell, like, I'm just casually kind of pedaling. This is not hard at all. So I'm going to cut a hard right, and we're going to see how fast we can turn this sucker around. So I would say my radius here, or my diameter of this, is probably about 10 foot. You know, like 10-foot circle that I'm turning in here. That is really good, if you ask me. All right, so now we're going to do a little speed test and see what we can do here. So you can see I'm still kind of drifting here, but I'm going to see how fast I can get this up to. All right. Sorry if I'm breathing hard. Whew. That's tough. So guys, as you can see, I was able to get up to a little over 5 miles an hour. There's no way I could maintain that. From my trips out that I've done so far, it seems like probably going about, I don't know, probably going about 4 miles an hour is about my average. And that seems to be what is the best for me. But 3.5, 4, I really don't see a reason why somebody couldn't maintain. Like, this is 3.5, and you can see this is a leisurely kind of speed as far as the pedals go, so not bad at all. So underneath the seat, you do have that underneath the seat storage. One thing that I've had to get used to using is I actually forget my I have some of these longer boxes. I forget what